You're having to go and find rhythm in every single movement, in your breathing, right? In your breathing and in your move. So then remember that earlier question, well, it's hard for me to find a rhythm in my movement, and it's also kind of hard for me to do this movement as well. Which one should I do first? Do the exercise first. Get used to the exercise. Don't worry about the rhythm of movement. Just get used to that exercise, and then get down the rhythm. And then now you start to get really good at changing, at syncing different rhythms in different movements, because you're always changing it during the practice. And if you can do that, then now look at it in everyday life, right? Sometimes you're sitting and suddenly you got to get up, and suddenly you got to do this, and you got to run that, and you got to carry that. So if you know how to sync in your breathing with the rhythm of how you move, and also be able to move in a rhythm, if you're ever doing anything short term, it doesn't matter. But if you ever do anything like long term where you have to do a movement, you'll naturally find a rhythm. Because if you don't, it's really tiresome. So if you ever hike, you will find a rhythm naturally, right? You won't just da-da, da-da. You do that and you'll be exhausted. Then nobody ever does that. They automatically have to find a rhythm that makes it easy. And then they sink in their breathing. Because if they don't, they can't last. If you go up a big flight of stairs, you automatically do this. So what we're doing is we are emphasizing it. We're bringing a lot of awareness to it, because we are not always creating it. We're not always in a situation to where this gets triggered. So then therefore we become conscious of this, because this is a very natural thing that we do. And once we become conscious of it, we create this. Even if we're not having to punch for 5 minutes, we can create this instantly, because we become aware of this principle. Whether you're punching for 5 minutes, whether you're taking 1 flight of stairs, whether you're taking 30 flights of stairs, right? Your goal is to learn how to do this in everything that you do. So we practice it in practice, and we do it in every day. Least amount of effort, most amount of movement, the most efficient way to breathe. What happens if you breathe too much oxygen for the movement that you're doing? Right, you're sitting here. You're gonna exhaust yourself. Now, if you are working your tail off and you're breathing in that way, it might be perfect, because your body needs that amount of oxygen, right? Because we're working it. You see? Now, vice versa. You're working your tail off and you're breathing in the way that you're breathing right now. You run out of oxygen. You can't catch your breath. You feel like you're oxygen depleted. Right, so syncing in with the rhythm of your movement, your breathing, is necessary. It gives you just the perfect amount in every way. Perfect amount of oxygen, syncing it in with the breathing, with the rhythm of how you move, which then determines the inhale and the exhale, and at what force, right? We don't even focus on the inhale, you see? Right, because that rhythm doesn't allow the inhale to focus on it. If we try to focus on it, it would take in a lot more effort. That creates so much effort, right? So what do? Once you find the rhythm, you can just keep going, right? But there's a certain amount of energy that you can execute that allow you to keep going. But it's only emphasized on the exhale, right? Versus another move may bring in inhale. All of this is breathing with awareness and rhythm of movement.